Steve, this is episode number, not 100, not 200, not 50.
Wait.
Episode number 69,
69, dude.
We are juveniles. Yes, we still love the number 69.
Listen, if you are going to have an episode 69, it should either, well, for us, include females. Not that we're judging anybody.
Right.
For us, it
Right.
should include females. Or, at the very least, it should be pretty heated. And I think this one is.
It's pretty heated, buddy.
It does.
Not in any kind of sexual
No,
way
not in any sort of sexual
all.
way at all,
But
unfortunately.
heated as in,
yeah.
you know, like a little testy.
Yeah. Testy. You said testy on episode 69.
And, Steve, you
Good
were
work.
gone for a few weeks. It's great that you made it in time for number 69.
I did, and you baited me. You were like, hey,
We
if you
planned
get
it out for
interviews,
like a
just
month.
so you know.
We wrote, like, you'd be back for 69.
You were like, but if you get interviews and I got to post them, you're not going to be on episode
Yeah.
69.
So
I'll be like,
that's why
wait
you
a
get
minute.
interviews.
That's it. I did it.
All right. Enjoy episode number
69.
Produced by the Cleveland Sound Radio Network. Here is the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, hosted by Glenn Moore and Steve Guy.
Cleveland, Ohio is the center of professional wrestling for the next month and a half. I'm Glenn Moore, joined here by Steve Guy, who is finally back in the studio, has a nice tan as well, back from his trip in Florida. We missed you, buddy. Had a few weeks off here from a couple weeks off from the show, and
A couple weeks off from the show, but 0 weeks off from wrestling.
there you go.
A lot of wrestling.
And I'm talking about Cleveland being the center of professional wrestling because there's a lot of wrestling going on in Cleveland. You have Fastlane coming up here, end of the month. You have AIW starting back up for the year 2016. NXT going to be in town as well next month. And then, of course, WrestleMania around the corner. Not here in Cleveland, but in Dallas. But the road to WrestleMania goes through Cleveland, Ohio. So a lot of wrestling to talk about in the next few months. AIW starting up again. We're going to have a whole slew of guests coming on the show. Also, NXT coming to Cleveland. Might have something for you for all the fans of the show that come out and hang out with us at the Agora for a little pizza party again.
Are we going to do a pizza party?
I think so.
Oh,
It's in the works.
Oh, beautiful.
So we might be doing that. And then also, like I said, Fastlane coming here to Cleveland. And,
Life in the fast lane.
oh boy, here in Cleveland, Ohio. So lots to talk about in the next few weeks, and we're gonna have guests on from AIW, from WWE. So the podcast picking up for the year 2016. And Steve, you were gone for last week, and thanks to J-Rock for coming in and being part of the show last week. And thanks for pumping it out on social media there,
Yeah.
buddy. But also,
And thanks to Ryan Kelly the week before.
yeah, Ryan Kelly filling in. And we talked about the WWE Hall of Fame and people who shouldn't and should be in. And actually, we're going to talk about that as well because there's a certain somebody who is flaunting her WWE Hall of Fame ring by while she is doing certain acts. We'll just say that. But we'll talk about that. But first, really quick, before we get into our main topic, and our main topic this week is Lucha Underground.
Lucha.
Now, we all know Steve is a huge fan, and Jim Cornette this week was very, very anti-Lucha Underground.
Well, he's also anti Bucks, so that's fine.
Okay. But I'm going to side with Jim Cornette, and we're going to debate this later on in the show. But we're going to talk Lucha Underground. That is this week's main topic for the show. But before we get to that, let's talk about Royal Rumble. We saw this coming a mile away. Triple H is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. You know what? People are bitching. People are complaining about it. But it is what's best for business.
It's not
right now.
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
not what's best for business.
Who would you have the belt right now?
But here's why it's not best for business. You have a huge fan base that already craps all over you and says, oh, Triple H buries all these people. Triple H does this. Triple H does that. Even if that's not true, okay, fine. I wasn't necessarily one of those people that bought into that entirely. I get it. I'm like, all right, somebody rubs him here, there, whatever. But you're aware of that. Your self-awareness needs to be better than to be like, well, guys, I think what's best for business is we put me over as champion. No, you can't be so unself-aware that you're going to do that. I mean, so many people just be like, why would I watch this? Because now, for the next 10 years, you're going to have people be like, gosh, I don't know who the champion could be. They'll probably give it to Triple H. Screw it. I'm not watching this. Not best for business. The authority needs to be done.
Here's the thing, though. People who are saying that aren't true wrestling fans because people love to complain. People love the bitch. They're never going to be happy because if Reigns has a belt, Reigns isn't over. Why do they have Reigns have the belt? Dean Ambrose. He's not a main event kind of guy, at least in my book. He is a mid-carder. So why would he?
Dean Ambrose, I don't think should have been in the last 4. I don't.
Well,
I think that was stupid. Plus, he's already your Intercontinental Champion.
Okay, but
why is he even in this triple threat match?
Because dude, you have to look at it past the championship belt. I'm sorry, title. Can't say belt. It's because they want to set up the buddy thing. It's going to be buddy versus buddy. That's the storyline.
I hope it's. Yeah, I'd like to see the buddy thing stay. I'm a big fan of good buddy cop movies, but I mean, for years we've talked about how you need to build up the IC title.
Dude, okay, hold on. The title does not make the man.
I get that.
The man makes the title. Reigns does not make a good WWE World Heavyweight Champion right now. He's not over. And he is not getting heat.
Wouldn't winning the first ever Royal Rumble, having to defend it against Superstars 1 through 29, help put you over, though?
He won the Rumble last year, and people shat on it.
Yeah, but then they did this whole...
They booed The Rock.
They did this Roman Reigns versus Vince thing, and it was working. It was starting to go well. I don't understand why all of a sudden they need to come in, and Triple H needs to be the... Like, it comes off as so much of an ego trip to not only be like, I'm going to be...
It's not about ego.
He's not just becoming the champion. Here's my biggest thing. With doing the Royal Rumble, you have the opportunity to create, and this is what needed to me, this is what needed to happen. If Reigns isn't over, fine. Dean Ambrose isn't strong enough to carry it, fine. This is your opportunity, because in a Royal Rumble, quote-unquote, anything can happen, right? Anything. It's supposed to be unpredictable.
That's how they bill it, but come on.
Correct.
That's not how
this is your chance to take somebody that's like kind of right there, and you think, man, let's run with... Because Seth Rollins...
Dude, it's WrestleMania
A lot of us didn't feel like Seth Rollins was ready necessarily, right, at the time. People didn't feel that way, but you got to do that with the Money in the Bank. He cashes it in or whatever. He turned out to be great. But what I'm saying is, if Seth Rollins, if you had done this a year ago and made Seth Rollins a champion off of that, it would have worked. Why is there not somebody that, and I'm sure there is somebody, there's plenty of people I can name that just grab them and do it, make it happen, and they would be over and be fine. But instead, you have, of all things, it now looks like, okay, Triple H buries everybody, puts himself ahead of things, so not only has he made himself champion, but the first ever Royal Rumble where the title is defended, he wins. He gets to make history as well.
People are digging way too deep into that. He is the right champion for right now.
But rightfully so, they are.
But if you are a wrestling fan and you're bitching about him putting himself over, he is the only believable heel that can be champion that you can hate. This is what they want. They want you to hate him being champion.
Oh,
Reigns,
people would have hated Kevin Owens being champion.
Kevin Owens is not there yet. You want to give all the internet darlings, you want to give them the World Heavyweight Championship right away on WrestleMania season when they're trying to sell tickets, when they're trying to media tours, promotion. Triple H is the right guy to have the belt right now because no one else can carry that ball going to WrestleMania. If this was a battle royal in August at SummerSlam, okay. But you're talking about WrestleMania, the guy with the title going to WrestleMania. There has to be the face of the company.
So now a 40-something-year-old man who barely got through the Sting match last year is going to main event our WrestleMania?
And that was Triple H's fault? Sting can't move.
But Triple H was not in phenomenal shape though.
He
either.
still is more believable.
He also was slow, and it wasn't just Sting making that match rusty, so to speak. It was both of them. So now this guy is going to main event WrestleMania. Do you believe if
The Rock and Triple H went at it, that wouldn't be awesome? You don't think Triple H would be up for that? I
wouldn't want that match to be the main event at WrestleMania.
That would be the main event. There was no other two stars.
It wouldn't be the true main event, like ending the show.
They are not going to give a title to a guy like Kevin Owens, to Dean Ambrose, to a guy like that at WrestleMania season.
What would have happened with
take a chance on?
What about throwing a wild card out there and actually having Bray Wyatt win?
Come on, dude, get over Bray Wyatt. He's a mid-carder at best.
Why is he's a mid-carder at best? Because that's how he's booked. You want to talk about heels and having people surround you? He's got an entire group of people surrounding him to help him win every single match.
He's an excellent mid-carder.
He can't have somebody win every match. He's got his goons. He's got his people there to help him win every match. And that's a heel. That's heel-tastic.
And his goons lose every match.
Yeah, they do lose every match. That's a totally different
story. And then
they
beat him up when they only gang up on people. How does that make him look strong?
That's all they need to do.
And then he wasn't even there last night because of what's going on with his family. But
what's going on with his family?
Blackjack Mulligan's in the hospital.
Oh no, I didn't see that. That's why Bo wasn't there either.
Yes.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So,
I did know that.
Come on, Steve.
I forgot about that.
I'll delete that from this show so you don't look stupid.
I forgot. I did know about that.
So, but I mean, like, Rowan loses to last night to who? Who did he lose to?
The Big Show.
The Big Show.
Big Show gets a clean win.
So you're telling me,
and then he gets beat up.
But you're telling me that the Big Show beats one of the Wyatt family members straight up singles match, but we're supposed to believe the Wyatt family is so strong enough they could take on Brock Lesnar and beat him up
4-on-1.
I agree, but the four guys, if they're losing their matches, how is that even going to make them look strong?
Well, why? What about the New Day?
The New Day they're a comedy act. That's totally different. Totally different than.
They're still heels.
No, there's comedy acts.
Bray Wyatt looks strong. Bray Wyatt looks strong because he brings them as a group together.
Wyatt,
he's got a cult.
Bray Wyatt is not main event status.
Go back to the days of the corporate ministry. You think the ministry was winning every single match?
Dude,
no, but the Undertaker was still strong.
That was Attitude Era.
It's
the Undertaker established himself already. He was
storytelling. Well, you're gonna have to establish this kid at some point
because you like him.
And no, tons of people love him.
Absolutely, doesn't mean he deserves to have the title belt.
But we sat there. You know, the Undertaker had already won the title prior to the corporate ministry, and all his goons and everybody are losing. So at some point, you're going to have to set this person on this path. You can't keep bringing all these people up for a couple of years and be like, they're mid-carder, they're mid-carder, they're mid. You need to do something to set them forward, because otherwise you're just going to keep doing what you're doing. You've got a roster full of mid-cars.
Nobody steps up, and nobody's good enough to be the champion.
That's I think that's not entirely true. I don't think so. I'm okay with Roman Reigns being the champion.
I don't. If he was a heel, yeah.
So what? He can't talk on the mic. Well, that's fine. Don't let him.
It's not fine because it's all about promo. He can't do a promo.
Maybe don't write all of his promos for him, Vince.
Everybody gets their scripts written for them. Even Jericho gets their scripts written for him. All these guys get their scripts written for them.
Give him a little bit of breathing room.
Dude.
Let's see what he can do.
You don't know what happens behind the scenes. Maybe Reigns doesn't have. You're reading off dirt sheets who are 3/4 of the time wrong. I'm
not reading that off of dirt sheets. I'm listening to the podcast everybody else did. Everybody's talked about how they've met him in the backstage, and they'll think, this guy has a great personality. Why aren't they letting him talk?
Of course he has a great personality, but it doesn't mean he can go out there and cut a promo in front of 20,000 people and millions of people on TV.
Let's find out. What's wrong with that?
They have, and he sucked.
I'd like to know which promos were his.
He couldn't even do a tape promo and make it look good. You couldn't even say he was declaring himself for the Royal Rumble last year.
Okay,
and he totally tanked it.
So why did we get behind Daniel Bryan and allow him to be champion?
Because he's a little guy, and yes was an easy word to say over and over again. The chant's over. The chant was over.
So we let a guy become champion. Let me get this right. Because we could chant a word?
Well, Daniel Bryan's very talented. But it's the whole thing for it. It's the chant too.
What happened to believability of a champion?
Dude, that whole thing is thrown out now. You know that. You know the believability. Kayfabe is gone. The era of macho guys being champion is gone.
Well, then the reality era is not so realistic.
That's why you just watch it. If you don't like it, you don't watch it. If you don't like this podcast, people don't listen to it.
I want them to make up their mind what they want to be.
Dude, how many guys are injured right now?
I get it. I get it. So what are you going to do? Keep making excuses? I mean, you're going to have to keep moving forward.
It's not an excuse when you have talent. 10 guys, top guys, legitimately hurt.
All right, John Cena's going to come back, and everybody's going to say Cena sucks anyhow.
Cena's going to be back before WrestleMania.
And people are going to boo him.
Don't be surprised if Cena's not back for WrestleMania.
I wouldn't be. He's a superhuman.
I agree.
But people are going to go back and forth on him again. We're going to watch it. We're going to see that again. People are, oh, great, Cena's back. He's just getting shoved down my throat. No one's ever had. What's wrong with making Brock Lesnar champion?
Maybe he will.
Why wouldn't he have done it at the Royal Rumble? You would tell me who would be the most believable person to win that? Hell yeah, it'd be Brock Lesnar.
And it was believable to see 4 guys who were eliminated from the Rumble gang up on him and send them out.
Oh, my God.
The Rumble was perfectly booked.
No, it wasn't.
The Rumble was... They had surprises. They had their suspense built up and surprise come out at the right times. There were no dead spots in the Rumble. It was perfectly booked.
Well, from that sense, yes, and I enjoyed it. Especially being there and everything, that was
because
great.
You don't like the winner doesn't mean it wasn't perfectly
No, not
booked.
even that, but at the same time, why did we wait for, like you just said, why did 4 guys go in the ring and take out Brock Lesnar, but the League of Nations pulled Roman Reigns outside of the ring? Why didn't they just go in and eliminate Roman Reigns at that point?
That's true, too, but this is wrestling.
And then why did
it's not real life.
And if you're booking the Royal Rumble, why did you make Roman Reigns go in the back for a half an hour? That's not helping him get over.
Because he's not over.
You're supposed to help him. That's the job of the company, too.
Him coming out all ready to go and spearing out there is supposed to make people cheer because most fans kids probably
not when you do that with
him.
the heels. You cannot have The Miz sitting out there doing commentary for 20 minutes, which is great, and that's a great heel move, and then be like, well, we're supposed to be not for that. He's taking the sissy way out, and then have Roman Reigns go in the back for a half an hour, and then come running down, and everybody be like, yes, we're okay with him resting.
It wasn't his fault. He wasn't doing it voluntarily like The Miz was.
He walked to the back with no help.
Well, he was helped. A referee was
Yeah,
he had a referee on each side of him.
Yeah, ridiculous. You could have stretchered him back at least.
They tried.
Again, using Daniel Bryan again. WrestleMania 30, they stretcher him back. He comes back out off of the stretcher.
Yeah.
No, if he tried to, then he should have come right back into the ring after that point. Talk about believable heels and heels, people that you would hate. Again, taking chances. Miz hasn't been champion for 4 or 5 years now. What would have been wrong with making the Miz the champion after him sitting out like that, being a sissy and being just on
Miz
the
is
headset,
not one of the top guys right now,
and then going out there? Who cares about right now? Again, it's the Royal Rumble. You have the opportunity to change it.
No, it's WrestleMania season, dude. It's all about WrestleMania.
And he would have still
tickets.
been a huge heel going into it.
Who?
Miz.
I love The Miz.
People would
love
have
him.
hated it. People would have loved to watch The Miz lose. You could have done other things.
This is going to be 100,000 people in one place at WrestleMania selling this thing. With a lot of guys hurt, you have to put the belt on someone that's going to garner immediate heat, Triple H heat, and the guy that is the boss has the belt. That storyline in itself.
He didn't even have any heat when he won. The crowd was cheering for him simply because when Triple H came out, the crowd knew Roman Reigns wasn't winning.
Well,
that was why they cheered. They weren't even necessarily cheering for Triple H. They were cheering for the fact that they now know Roman Reigns isn't winning.
Exactly.
So to my point, anybody else could have won that.
But then you have to think long term. You can't be thinking, it's right for tonight, but what about the next 8 weeks of writing? What are you going to do for Fastlane?
He's a heel. For Fastlane, you could still make a new number 1 contender. You have to do that no matter who wins. You no longer, by doing that with the Royal Rumble, you no longer have a number 1 contender.
I agree with that, but then again, why even have the Rumble? Why even... If you're going to have Reigns get the nuclear heat from being the champion, which he had, Why not even just have him keep the title and have Heat himself? Why even go through this whole process of hoping a new guy catches on for WrestleMania season when you're trying to fit 100,000 people into one venue? You got to draw.
You could. I think that there are people who you could have made stars out of, and it would have worked. You've got somebody injured.
You don't do that during WrestleMania season. They don't do that at WrestleMania season. You don't take a chance and hope. Oh my God! I hope Bray Wyatt is going to be a main event status by WrestleMania. If you just put a belt on him, the belt doesn't make the man. The man
there are
makes
people
the
who
belt.
already feel like Bray Wyatt should be main event status, and he's just getting booked wrong.
Why is he? Why should he?
He's got one of the strongest characters out there.
His promos are boring.
He's got a huge following. Yeah, he doesn't need to have 15-minute promos. I agree with that.
Okay.
But nobody does. The only person who can carry a 15-minute promo is we watched on Monday Night Raw last week, and that's The Rock going 26 minutes. But you're not going to have Rocky Johnson's not walking through this, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
The Rock
he's not coming through that door as your champion or anything.
The Rock is a totally different level than any of these guys.
I understand that. So none of these guys should be having promos like that. So you can't sit here and say, well, his promo's long and it's boring. You can't blame the guy for that the entire time. Somebody's booking him and having him do that. Stop it. It needs to stop.
But then you're saying Reigns, you're forcing us down our throat and people are upset about it because Reigns isn't ready.
I don't think Reigns is being forced down people's throats. I think people are stupid to that. I'm sorry. Somebody's listening and feels like...
But then who should be booked champion?
I told you I had no problem. I don't see why couldn't you book The Miz and have him get all sorts of heat. The guy's headlined WrestleMania before. He has carried heat for the last 2 years better than anybody. Who have audiences hated, like really truly hated more than The Miz in the last couple of years?
I'm sorry, but Miz right now cannot main event WrestleMania.
I don't see why we think Triple H can.
Because it's Triple H. He's the boss. He is the CEO of the company. Him and Vince are buddies. It's Stephanie McMahon. You're supposed to hate it. You're supposed to hate it extreme. And people do. They don't want to see it because, A, they don't like Triple H because he buries people and blah, blah, blah. Egotistical. Well, okay, just because he's egotistical doesn't mean nobody else is. Ric Flair is, he's a big ego. All the guys in wrestling have big egos. You think The Miz has a big ego, too, backstage? Everybody has a big ego. Doesn't mean they should be champion, or just because it's Bray Wyatt and he has a fucking cool fucking entrance and guys coming out with him doesn't mean he should be champion, because you got to carry the ball when you have the belt. The man makes the belt, not the belt makes the man.
Well, it's believable because he's got guys that can go out there and beat people up and soften people up for their matches every week.
Watching four
the
guys.
Authority is fun every week? It's not. It's garbage, too.
I'm not sticking up for WWE because you're right, it is.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but here's Triple H. Triple H is way up here. Bray Wyatt's way down here.
Okay, I get. So here's my point. And maybe it's not Bray Wyatt. Maybe it's somebody
up.
else. Maybe it's somebody else. You take a chance
on.
I'm just. I don't know.
But
I'm just saying. My point is that. My point. Hang on. I've given you 3 names: Kevin Owens, Bray Wyatt, The Miz. I am naming people because my point is that
each one
you could have made Dolph Ziggler become a heel. People would have loved to see what the hell happens with that. You could have had Alberto Del Rio win again because people would have followed that, especially in Texas. Are you kidding me? Sorry, Donald Trump. You know how many Mexicans would come across the border to go watch Alberto Del Rio in the main event of WrestleMania in Dallas?
Nobody cares about Del Rio.
Oh, so many people. You're in Dallas. You know how many Mexicans are there would have gone to see Alberto Del Rio main event WrestleMania?
I do not want to watch TV for the next 8 weeks with Del Rio as champion. Give me a break.
But here's the thing. WWE is so high on themselves, or Triple H or Vince, whoever it is, I don't know, and I don't care. The reason I'm not arguing for any one specific person. What I'm saying is you have the opportunity to make a statement and make a change. I don't cuss on this show often. I leave it up to you. But for the last however many years, you have fed people shit. Right now, all you're doing with Triple H.
Then why are we doing a podcast about wrestling for the last year and a half, talking about wrestling?
There aren't matches. I've enjoyed matches, but Triple H and the Authority. This is what we've been getting. And if what you're saying is that, well, we don't have anybody who can carry it, and we don't want to go out on the limb there because, going out on a limb, that's too dangerous for WrestleMania season. Well, guess what? Doing what you've been doing week in and week out hasn't worked either.
And you're still watching, aren't you?
I'm watching because we do the podcast, and I enjoy them. You
watched before we did the podcast.
And I enjoy actual matches. I enjoy the actual wrestling matches, so I watch
That's all it matters.
I'm frustrated, and I am, but not everybody is. You can't. Using me is a terrible example. I watch all sorts of wrestling, and it's fine. I don't
But
necessarily.
you're saying you're being fed all this horse
People
shit.
are. People are. The general audience is being fed,
And they're not watching because ratings are really low. So
and that's my point. And their ratings are low. People aren't watching it. The general audience is stopped tuning in. So why would you continue down the same path?
Because
that's my argument for just giving it to somebody brand new and raising them up. Because now all of a sudden you got these people who went away who are like, whoa, wait, they did what? They made who the champion?
No. Nobody's going to come back because Bray Wyatt or The Miz or Kevin Owens is WWE champion.
You make somebody random the champion, people absolutely are going to tune in.
For a week. They did. It did happen. Reigns won the championship. And ratings went up for a week because they wanted to see what happened. And then after that, we're back to what we were.
And if your argument, and if you didn't want, if saying that Reigns wasn't working as champion, your argument, again, for somebody not Reigns, not Triple H, is great. Let's go from the same script. People have said we've fed them Roman Reigns for so long. Well, let's go away from Roman Reigns. Let's go away from the authority. Let's do something brand new. That's what I'm saying.
I totally agree. But it's not the right time for that right now. You can't risk that during WrestleMania season.
What? Then you don't agree, because that's absolutely asinine. You have, there's no better time to risk it. Because this is when you want to get ratings jacked up.
So what if it fails?
Because you want ratings to be great.
So what if it fails? What if you do make
You're
Bray
no
Wyatt?
worse off than where you are right now.
No, you got to no. If you
I'm
have,
sorry.
if you keep
That's the
Bray
state
Wyatt,
they need to look
if you
at.
put the title belt on Bray Wyatt, and has no effect at all, ratings are down, nobody cares. He's just a secondary champion or a placeholder champion. Going to WrestleMania, that makes WrestleMania look like a B pay-per-view for the card. You want to have your best guy, your biggest draw right now. Seth Rollins is hurt, Randy Orton's hurt, John Cena's hurt. The list goes on with guys that should be the main event.
You can still put. Are you kidding me? And even more so, if you had Bray Wyatt's dudes eliminate Brock Lesnar like you did, what would be wrong with Brock Lesnar, Bray Wyatt for the title at WrestleMania?
I don't even think Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt would be a good match I want to watch, even at WrestleMania.
I mean, that already sets up a storyline right there, and you could still give it to your biggest star, which is Brock Lesnar. Your biggest star right now doesn't show up every week.
But that's just the way it's structured. And you have to cater to that. You have to just go away from Lesnar being champion every week. Triple H, he's not going to compete every week for the title. He's going to show up for 5 seconds in a promo, but other than that, he's not going to fight for the championship. He's not even fighting for the championship at Fastlane. It's about you should be if your point was more than valid, Triple H would be headlining Fastlane instead of Roman Reigns, Ambrose, and Brock Lesnar. That's the main event. So that's the main event for the go home pay-per-view, which they are pumping up to be not just a placeholder pay-per-view. They're making it to be a legitimate pay-per-view,
so they can have a number one contender.
So Reigns, Ambrose, and Lesnar, they're the main event. They are the main event. Triple H isn't booking himself to be the main event at Fastlane as of right now.
Yeah,
probably not going to happen.
No, I don't see him being that. But
so he's not like hey, I'm Mr. Ego. If he was Mr. Ego, he'd be the main event every day, every fucking week on Raw, putting himself out there. But it's a placeholder champion. He's not going to be a champion for a year. It's because, hey, WrestleMania's coming up. 100,000 people. Biggest, hold on.
I get it.
So he can go media tours with the belt. He can be on TV with the belt, publish, do interviews with the belt. He is the boss. He is the champion. And you know what? Who is to say The Rock can, this insurance thing might not be true. He's going to be there. Who can say The Rock and Triple H going face-to-face at WrestleMania? Not even in a match. But hey, face-to-face in the ring at WrestleMania 32. I'd rather see that. I know they're fucking 40 years old. I'd rather see that than see Reigns and Lesnar go at it again. I want to see The Rock, Triple H.
All they have had since Seth Rollins is placeholder and champions. How do you take, again, okay, we're going to try to put Roman Reigns over. Roman Reigns has now been the placeholder champion on 2 or 3 separate occasions? Separate occasions?
He was
champion for
5
minutes.
Yeah, and then champion for less than, 3 weeks?
Yeah, and then has he had the belt 2 times? 3 times?
2 times.
2 times. Oh, he got screwed over at WrestleMania by Seth Rollins, but he didn't win the belt. That's right. I mean, that's ridiculous in itself.
But here's
at this point, and I feel bad because like I'm somebody who's like, I could believe in Roman Reigns.
So if Bray Wyatt gets the belt, doesn't work. Within 3 weeks, it doesn't working out. They're not happy with him being champion. They take the belt off him. Then your excuse would be, well, they didn't give him enough time to run with the belt. So you're saying Reigns, he was champion for less than 3 weeks, less than 5 minutes, and now we're like, oh, we should have something different.
No.
Somebody
I also
else.
think that Roman Reigns didn't give enough time. I'm not against. I'm not saying that Roman Reigns should have lost the belt.
Okay, so then you're saying Reigns. So
yeah, I still think that
you're
was
playing both sides of the fence. You're saying somebody you knew that hasn't been pushed should win the belt. Then you're saying, well, Reigns should have kept it. The guy that's been pushing. You're playing both sides of the fence.
I was saying if you weren't going to I said this before. I said if you're not going to have. Personally, I thought it would have been great to see Roman Reigns go 1 through 29. He wins it, and if you were not going to have Roman Reigns win it, you should have given it to some wild card, someone brand new. That's what I was saying. If you weren't going to have Roman Reigns win it, you should have given it to somebody else.
Okay, but there's no one else on the main event status.
And again, this is where you build them. You have 8 weeks to build them.
So what if it doesn't work?
To main event status.
Triple H is already there.
They dropped the strap at WrestleMania.
You're treating WrestleMania as like I can't even name the pay-per-view.
Triple H is not at
Like Hell in the Cell.
Triple H, I'm sorry, he's not at WrestleMania main event status. Triple H 10 years ago was.
It's not about wrestling. It's about drawing.
I get that too.
Triple H draws.
Says what?
You don't think people would love to see Triple H go against The Rock? The Rock still draws.
Okay, The Rock draws.
Yeah.
Not Triple H.
Triple H still draws.
Is that Drew? It's because it's The Rock, Triple H, and you've got nostalgia, and it's because it's The Rock.
And Triple H still can fucking go, and still is. You still have that factor, the Attitude Era factor too.
Sting would have drawn with anybody. People want to see Sting wrestle. That wasn't because of Triple H. That didn't draw because of Triple H, because it was Triple H versus Sting. That drew because it was Sting. You put Triple H in a match with somebody, if Triple H in himself was the draw, why didn't we see Triple H Daniel Bryan for the title? Why was that the first thing that you watch at WrestleMania 30 and then it's over and then Daniel Bryan goes on against 2 other guys to win that?
Because you were building up Daniel Bryan for the night.
Okay, but Triple H, my point is Triple H is not, they could have reworked that story beforehand and it could have been Triple H Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. That's what it is.
In the end, Daniel Bryan, Triple H did his job. He put Daniel Bryan, had his arm all fucked up before the main event, so you didn't really believe he would win. Daniel Bryan would win. There was still a hint because Daniel Bryan, there's a possibility he couldn't even main event because his arm was hurt because Triple H went off at him in an opening match. That was Triple H's responsibility, but you can't carry that timeline to now because it's a whole different timeline. Things change, and Triple H wasn't even supposed to be at wrestling at WrestleMania.
He is less of a main event draw now than he was then, I think.
But who is a better main event draw right now than Triple H as of right now?
And that's where I place it on them. They need to book. Well, Brock Lesnar, I can tell you that all day long.
Well, yeah, Lesnar, Triple H, I would love to see that.
But again, you would love to see that, and I would love to see that because of Brock Lesnar, not because of Triple H. I'll watch Brock Lesnar with anybody. I don't care. I'll watch that all day long.
And I would watch Triple H with anybody.
Nah, there's people I won't. No. I don't need to see that. It's fine.
Okay, we agree for half an hour. Just fucking arguing about
here's my problem. If you have zero faith in anybody on your roster right now, why the hell don't you just get rid of all of them?
Oh my god.
Well, I'm serious. They've all become become enhancement talent. That's it.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, they can't even. You say the title doesn't make the man makes the title. We don't even feel like any of them can make the U.S. title or the IC title
because they are not.
They're not even good enough to carry those.
Because we are so Attitude Era fixated that even when the Godfather, who was IC title champion, it was still a huge thing. People loved it because it was the Godfather. But you put any of these guys in the Attitude Era, they wouldn't be fucking even opening the fucking show and doing Sunday Night Heat tapings.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole different era. But we are fixated on the Attitude Era, and we love that era so much that when we carry it over to now, we are comparing pro wrestling state right now to that era of wrestling because there's a lot of guys in the Attitude Era that were given the ball and took it and ran with it. The thing is, though, the talent depth of that roster was saturated with stars, and now I would say 3/4 of the guys right now on this roster, and I'm sorry, I love them all, but they would not even make it to the dark matches for Attitude Era.
During the Attitude Era. So that's a roundabout way. Then that brings my point. Brings my point of what I just said.
I'm saying it's harder to make a star now. It was so easy to do it back in Attitude because these guys were skilled on the mic. These guys got over with the crowd on their own, and you're telling me that guys nowadays need writers in the back who get ridiculed every day and get trash on social media and whatever. They need them to push someone when someone like Zack Ryder got himself over. These guys need to get themselves over. We're doing something different.
So Zack Ryder got himself over, and now where did that go?
Because they hated the fact that he got over on his own.
So they buried him.
Exactly.
So this is a WWE problem. This isn't the problem of the roster necessarily. This is a WWE issue. Here's a good food for thought. Because we talk about, they got to be good on promos. They got to be good on promos. They got to be done this.
Looks like we're not talking about Lucha Underground today.
Well, we could say that for another day. I could talk about Lucha all day long. For 25 years, The Undertaker has been a huge superstar.
Okay.
And has been trash on the mic. Very rarely even cuts a long promo.
Well, there's one reason why that he is still pushed to this day. And that's because he was loyal.
And that's fine. But why can you do that? Why can you push that guy for 25 years with very little mic work during that time span, but now we can't? Why can't we do that now? Why can't we take somebody, and why are we so fixated on, because they did this, because of this? And I get we compare things to the Attitude Era, and guys were so hot on the mic, but so what? We can build a star without it. It's been done. Why can't it be done again?
You're talking about 30 years ago, dude.
It stayed for 25 years.
Because the seed was planted 30 years ago. That seed is in all of us, in the 10-year-old you, and in a 10-year-old guy down the street who watched Undertaker,
So plant this seed with someone else.
Oh, my God.
You have to.
First of all,
WWE at some point.
First of all, the Undertaker is totally. You can't do that because he came out with Paul Bearer, white faced, with looking like a funeral director, and the Undertaker didn't speak a word. Came out there with a white face himself, black eyes, looking like the dead man, scared the shit out of kids ringside. That's why he got over, because it looked like it was real.
Oh, when he first came out, one of his first managers is Brother Love. He wasn't scary to anybody, but the Undertaker still was.
Yeah.
I mean, but you have guys who can. I guess if Roman Reigns is that terrible on the mic, why did he ever talk? Then is my point. The Undertaker got over, great. Brock Lesnar gets over, and we just let Paul Heyman talk because he's a badass.
Yeah.
When the Shield was happening, we're like, this Roman Reigns is a badass. Why couldn't he just continue on being a badass?
So
why did he have to talk?
Because that's what it is nowadays. You have to have some kind of mic speaking
skills.
Oh,
it's not. I mean, Paul Heyman talks for Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar was from 2002.
But he's here right now.
And
he talks less now than what he did back then. Because he ran around without Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman was with Brock Lesnar from the beginning in 2002.
He bailed on him. It was Brock Lesnar went solo for a while there.
Well, I know that, but it was already. You already knew Brock Lesnar was the man. He was a beast already.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, it's a totally different era.
But we knew that he was a badass because of the Shield. Why couldn't we let him continue
I never
that?
thought that. I thought Ambrose was going to be the star on the Shield and be champion before anybody else. I knew Roman Reigns as a guy who couldn't talk, even when he was given a chance. He just looks awkward.
Let him beat people up. Would have been fine.
That's not how it goes nowadays, though. That's not how it goes.
Well, it is how it goes, because we watched Daniel Bryan say one thing, and he got to be a champion.
He said that's his catchphrase, but he was still on the mic talking every week coming out.
Not that well.
But the fans got him over, too. The fans that literally had to change what was going on. They were boycotting the show. It was a hot thing to do. Daniel Bryan, yes, chant.
They were boycotting the show.
Well, they did that for one show.
Yeah, the fans took it over.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not saying legitimately. I'm saying part of the storyline.
WWE, yes, determined that the fans should boycott the show.
So I'm saying it's...
At some point,
yes,
what they've been doing hasn't been working.
Dude, if Seth Rollins didn't get hurt, Seth Rollins will still be champion.
Ratings weren't great when Rollins was champion.
Ratings aren't going to be great for anybody anyway. Unless The Rock is champ. Well, even when The Rock was champion again, the ratings weren't... Wrestling is not hot anymore.
Well, I agree, but that's why I think you need to mix it up from time to time. Bring.
Hold on. Nothing is going to make wrestling hot again unless they cut the PG crap and go back to being Attitude Era. That's the only way the wrestling will be cool again. And social media has totally ruined professional wrestling. That has totally ruined the line between kayfabe.
It has. The internet and everything has ruined social media. Yes, you're right.
Ruined professional wrestling. Social media and internet.
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
So we're never going to go back to the Attitude Era. It's never going to happen again.
And it doesn't need to be the Attitude Era. It just needs to be better than what you're given.
But you're not going to... You're trying to force something. You're trying to force the times on something that is just...
I mean, you're talking about Triple H is going to go around carrying the belt, and he's going to build up WrestleMania. So the main event, I'm going to watch WrestleMania. I'm going to watch, and I'm going to say, so this is the guy I'm supposed to hate because he's the bad guy, but he just went around with his wife and talked about how they have kids and they love their kids. Dude, and everybody should be great.
That's the way the world is now, because The Rock can't go on TV in a scripted show, and he can't say wheelbarrow to a female without being called a sexist. The world is too political correct. People have thin skins, and they want to bitch about every single thing they can behind an anonymous name.
The Rock, newsflash, wrestling fans, is sexist. Dwayne Johnson, not sexist.
That's the thing. People want to, and we talked about this before the show, people want to call wrestling fake, but then they're so quick to say, well, you can't be saying racist things, or you can't have a 80-year-old man kiss Becky Lynch. Like, it's a show. It's scripted. It's for entertainment purposes only. It's not real. We get that. You have to shove it in our faces and make us feel like a douchebag because we're 30-plus years old and still watch a TV show.
Yeah.
Family Guy is fake, but we all love Family Guy. Oh, it's funny when they're edgy and they're putting their scripts out, making fun of people and, riding the line. But wrestling does it. Oh.
Guess what, ladies? The Bachelor and Bachelorette is scripted to a degree.
No, scripted. The whole thing is scripted.
So eat that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like I just wasted 45 minutes of my life arguing with this with you because in the end, it is a TV show and it has writers.
It's not been a great TV show.
Then what do you do when the TV show sucks, Steve?
You make it better.
You don't watch it.
Get new writers. Not me.
You don't watch it.
I'm too brand loyal out of laziness.
You get the show going below 2 million viewers.
Right, that's what I'm saying. People aren't watching it.
You get it. 2 million is the mark where it goes, oh shit. That's the oh shit mark for WWE. They are at 2.38. That was the rating. If they go below 2 for the rating, not millions of viewers, but 2 when it comes to the rating. If they go in TNA, below 2, you're going to see a lot of changes happen. All right?
It should be anywhere approaching that 2. They should be hitting the oh shit button.
Well, 2 because it has been going up and down. So if it hits 2 and it stays there for a few months, then it's the oh shit button. Okay?
Can you imagine if you're drawing just as many viewers as a TNA or a Lucha Underground, which aren't on every single cable provider?
Well, Lucha Underground is not even pulling a 1.
No, they're not. And they won't.
And TNA, they're only getting about 300,000 people watching. WWE has about 3 million. So
Yeah.
I'm talking about ratings. TNA is like in the ones. I'm talking about going below 2. If they get below 2, okay, some changes need to be happened. But the thing is, though, they are PG. They do have sponsors. They are in the same realm for some reason, as real sports. So if they do something wrong, it's going to make all the social media rounds calling sexist. It's a TV show, people. But they have all these things to worry about. They have their brand to worry about because, yeah, douchebags on the internet might write something stupid, but it'll catch fire, and people will talk about it, but it still looks bad for WWE, even though it's not true. So they have all these things to worry about and still try to pull in viewers and still book matches and still be relevant in the year 2016 when wrestling kind of died 12, 13 years ago out of the prime of the Attitude Era. It's a lot of things you have to do, man.
You mean when they bought their competitor?
But the thing is, though, WCW was going to fold anyway.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately,
the thing is, though, WWE bought WCW not because they're buying the competition. They're buying it for what we're watching now on WWE Network. All the Nitros,
right.
all pay-per-views.
Agreed.
And they're making a ton of money off of that.
Agreed.
So they made back their money through WCW. But WCW folded. That's a whole different discussion. WCW didn't die because of WWE.
No, it didn't.
WCW
it didn't.
died
No,
because
and I wasn't implying that. I don't want that to be thought.
We're not talking Lucha Underground this week, are we? We already have 45 minutes.
Probably not.
What's this title of the show going to be?
People are going to enjoy this debate because it's a hot button thing.
No, I agree. We both have two different stances, just like Lucha Underground is. I don't want to. We're running short on time. I don't want to. Lucha Underground is a whole different show for another day. But I am more of the old school. I'm more of the old school approach, and you are new school, and you like.
I enjoy it as a show. I will say this. This has been my thing about Lucha Underground, and it ties in with WWE. WWE has had this confusion of, hey, guys, wrestling's still real. It's still totally real. Believe in it. And just so you know, nothing. It's all an act. I mean, I told you, Kalisto was at the Be a Star bully thing in Miami, and he and Stephanie McMahon literally told the crowd of kids, what we do on TV is just a show. That's not who we are in real life. And he pulled his mask off. So you're either a show and you're going on with it the whole time, or you're not a show. You're not both and in between. And so Lucha Underground, they decided, if people are admitting it's just a show, then we're going to put on legitimately a show. And I think that's what they did. They weren't going, we're wrestling, and, over here you have wrestling, over here you have a show, and they weren't going to say, we're going to combine it. We'll just say we're a show, and we have wrestling. And I think they do a great job of that.
I don't want to argue Lucha Underground with you. I'm exhausted from our previous. So we'll save Lucha Underground for a different
Absolutely.
show.
I'm just telling you that I think it's fun.
I am all pro Jim Cornette when it comes to views on Lucha Underground.
It's fun as a show.
Well,
I was watching it because
I'm not a flippy shit kind of guy, so
there's more than just flippy shit.
No, it's flippy shit. It's guys and it's fucking. I don't. You get me riled up again, man. I'm getting older. My heart can't handle this. Getting all this riled up, talking about wrestling.
Fans, YouTube Lucha Underground. Let us know. Tweet at us at TIA Wrestling. Let us know what you think of Lucha Underground, so that when we talk about it on another show, we can get your hot takes and opinions in there too. Also, check out the website, thisisawesamewrestlingshow.com. Please, I've been working hard on it, posting all our shows. Steve has done nothing for the website at all. So please visit for my sake. I write things, they're not getting posted.
You're taking... Come on, Steve. You're writing video recaps of Chris Van Vliet's video interviews.
Those are hot takes.
And you're taking the quotes that he wrote for it. You're taking it your own.
That's what everybody else does on the internet.
I'm not going to link Chris Van Vliet's interviews on our site.
Everybody else.
We love Chris Van Vliet. He's a great friend of the show, but he's not the show.
I did a Royal Rumble review.
You got to let me know, dude. I'm not following you.
Oh, sorry. Oh, man, my co-host isn't following what I'm doing. How can a guy get ahead?
And you're not
in this?
following what I'm doing either.
That's not true at all.
Hey, Glenn.
I follow and like your stuff all the
Send me a
time.
text. Hey, Glenn.
I like and follow your stuff all the time.
Can you please link my thing? I would be more than happy, but I'm not like...
Perfect.
That's all you got to do.
All right.
I'm not going to link Chris Van Vliet. I posted one on there for you.
I know. I saw it.
I got that for you. You got to learn how to do it yourself, too. I'm doing all the work, man. It's exhausting being up till 3 a.m. working on coding.
That's an off-show topic.
That's off show.
We talked about how you were going to give me a tutorial.
Well, more than happy to do it for you.
I can't do it today. Next Monday.
There's always YouTube. You can YouTube how to post on WordPress.
Can you?
Dude, come on. Tutorials and everything on YouTube.
Oh, all right. I'll check that out.
Come on,
is it going to be better than your tutorial?
Yes, it will be probably.
All right.
I'll be honest, it will be.
Okay, so I'll YouTube it.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
All right. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com is the website. Check out our past interviews. We got J-Rock on there. We got Terry Funk on the front page. We have all our shows that posted on there, so you can go back and listen to past shows. Our good friend Justin was listening to our Taylor Hendricks interview.
Did you almost say past shit? You can listen to our past shit.
Past shows?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, Justin really likes that Taylor Hendricks interview. I do too. It was fun.
Yeah.
Such a sweet girl.
She's great. And our picture of her on the website is very flattering too, so check it out. Yeah. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com is the site. TIA Wrestling on Instagram and Twitter as well. And iTunes. Subscribe, leave a comment, rate us, and also join the discussion. If you go to our website, and we'll be posting a lot of maybe roundups from other sites as well, big news stories. So you can comment on our site and get the discussion going on This Is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. We're going to be making some changes to that too, adding some graphics, making it look pretty
cool.
But make sure to follow us on Twitter too, TIA Wrestling.
That's
and
right.
like us on Facebook. This is Awesome Wrestling Show.
Facebook page too.
We have EC3 likes it. Jerry the King Lawler likes it. So you should
Wrestler approved.
Yes, Wrestler approved. Old school and new school approved. So
it is Hall of Fame approved.
No, we can't. Okay, you're right.
He's a Hall of Famer.
We can't. Yeah, that's true. But he's a friend of the show too.
Yes.
So it's not like we say, oh.
No, it's TNA champion approved.
Yeah, TNA champion. Well, not anymore.
Not currently, yeah.
Which is a fluke. But
former TNA champion approved.
I mean, now you talk about a promotion that has trouble. TNA having Matt Hardy as their champion in 2016. That's a whole other topic for a show. Anything coming up, Steve, for yourself you want to promote? Any comedy stuff? New books, new articles?
No new books right now. New articles being worked on. I got a few things being worked on.
All right. We got first one. Why Bray Wyatt?
No.
WWE champion.
I will be profiling AIW, so that'll be fun.
All right.
Just kind of give an independent vibe. I'll be profiling our good friend Johnny Gargano.
All right.
Look for an article as that. So there'll be a couple articles are in the works here.
Look for Johnny Gargano to come back on the show. Talked to him last week. He's more than willing to come back on the show, and he's making the rounds at NXT too. All right, Fastlane, 3 weeks away.
Left in the fast lane.
5 weeks from NXT here in Cleveland. Then we get WrestleMania as well after that. So a lot of wrestling going on. AIW starting up as well, and we'll be publishing a lot more interviews, a lot more news stories on our website as well. So this is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com.
Before we end real quick.
What's up?
Were you surprised at AJ Styles' reception and how many people actually were already familiar with him and loved him in the crowd? Royal Rumble and Raw? I
would say the Orlando crowd was probably one of the best crowds because they cheered for the right people. They booed the right people.
Yeah.
There were no stupid chants. We didn't even get into our
fans. You're right, from Raw.
We should do one of these shows that we do. Like this is going to be probably a show labeled, getting guys over or something, or something of that nature. But we should do a show that's bashing superfans.
Sure.
And we can get Frank the Clown. Or we can renew that rivalry with Frank the Clown.
There you go.
Yeah. So we'll save that story for another day. But superfans really pissed me off. Really pissed me off. But other than that, the Orlando crowd was great.
They were excellent, yeah.
They're very, very smart, new in the chair. There were no hijacking the show.
No.
There were no off-the-wall chants.
Well, there was, I don't know if it came across on TV, but there was a brief moment where they were trying to chant CM Punk. And I don't remember who it was, but it was somebody that came out that they popped for, and it was great.
But that died quickly.
It did, yeah.
You don't remember, like, it's not a highlight of the show.
No.
So, yeah. So lots of things going on. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com.
AJ Styles should have won.
I'm done.
I'm done. That was just a biased thing. That's not
I'm going to give you a rock bottom.
That's not a true accurate thing. It just the fandom.
There it is.
The fandom in me would have.
Fandom.
If you could have said, "Hey, pick your one person that was in the Royal Rumble to win," just because you want them to win, it would have been AJ Styles.
All right. We're going to have some wrestling personalities as well that are not wrestlers. We're going to have Justin LaBar come on, Chad Dukes make a return appearance. So we're going to have a lot of voices.
Chad Dukes was on the show before?
Yes, he was. That's a lost episode, buddy. A lost episode of TIAWS.
1 year ago from this
Also,
show, basically.
Whoever owns TIAWS.com, we would love to purchase that domain from you. I've been trying to find out who owns that, and because it leads to nowhere.
Oh.
Last time I checked, that's really quick. TIAWS.com. It goes to nowhere, but someone owns it. So hey, if you want to give it up to us, we more than appreciate it. Also, Steve, I was going to buy TIA.WS.
Yeah.
I searched for it. It was for like $6. Okay. Literally, last night, went to go buy it. I checked like 2 weeks ago. Somebody bought it.
Damn.
You know what happens? People know, like companies, they know people are searching for domains. If it's free, they'll buy it and they'll try to sell it to you because they know that you're searching for it.
All right.
So TIAWS, if all our computer hackers out there can figure out who owns that and get it to us, we would appreciate it. Because putting ThisIsAwesomeWrestlingShow.com in any kind of sort of promotion or banners or flyers is way too much. So, and geocities.com/TIAWS is unprofessional. So, or MySpace.com/TIAWS.
Do we have a MySpace page?
No, we do not.
Oh, man.
We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have our own website. We're moving on up. 2016 is going to be a huge year for us, Steve.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram. I posted my pictures from the Rumble.
Yeah, I know.
Meeting Mick Foley.
Great.
Alberto Del Rio.
I had to unfollow you for a day or two.
Check those out. Oh, because you don't like wrestling?
Because I didn't want to see your blurry photos.
Oh, yeah. What can you do, man?
Don't post.
You can only get the seats that they give you.
Don't post them.
It's...
Oh, who gave you the seats for Raw and Royal Rumble? WWE, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so they got you the seat.
Well, my
friend
Chris Van Vliet got me the seats.
Okay, now Chris got you the seat. Okay,
through WWE.
No, I know how it works.
Yeah.
All right, just making sure so it's not like you paid for a ticket yourself.
Listen, I go watch the Cleveland Browns, and I'm still frustrated as hell with them.
Do you pay for the ticket?
Sometimes. Mm-hmm. So pretty much it's kind of like the same thing, but I didn't pay for the WWE ticket. I didn't pay for the Browns. It's fine. I pay for Cleveland Indians tickets. I'm still frustrated as hell with them.
You have a voice because you pay for the ticket. You should be.
Oh, I've paid for WWE tickets.
I'm just.
That's what you're asking.
I'm busting your.
Previously,
chops.
I have. Yes.
Previously,
I buy my In fact, I purchased my WrestleMania ticket.
I'm sure you.
I sent the money today, $140.
I'm sure you would love to get that free NXT tickets too, huh?
Oh, who wouldn't? I don't have anything to bash about NXT.
Yeah. All right.
Can't wait to watch Johnny Gargano.
Yeah. And
on a big stage like that.
Yeah. Not big stage, but.
Right.
When Johnny Gargano's in WrestleMania, then we know.
That's the grand stage.
Like,
the grandest.
No, granddaddy. You can't call that anymore because it makes it seem old.
The grandest. Right. Not granddaddy.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. This is awesome.
Is always a good thing.
Yes. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. TIA Wrestling on Twitter and Instagram. Like us on Facebook as well. But most importantly, go to our website. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. Cannot say it enough. Everything is there. All our shows, interviews. We're going to have news posted on there. You can go to all our social media from there too. And also iTunes and Libsyn, all our podcast platforms. We are on there. And we're going to have a new intro. We're going to have some new We didn't call Scott Steiner. We called him last week, didn't answer. Maybe we'll scrap that from now on. We'll make it like a 3-time. I don't know.
I'll tell you this.
Well, you were there.
Real quick story.
Did you say
biggest blunder of the entire weekend? Chris did his little ring announcing thing. It was great. It was fun.
You were literally 3 feet away from Scott Steiner.
I was not in a locker room with Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner showed up later because his match was the last one, so he wasn't there and everything ahead of time. So Chris and I are out sitting in the crowd, and was like, man. And we had just come from backstage when 5 minutes later, Scott Steiner comes out for his match. And I just look at Chris and I go, son of a bitch.
Should have called him.
I so badly going into the night. And then once I was there, I totally forgot about it because we were busy doing stuff and talking to people.
Didn't Chris ring announce?
Just for one match.
Oh.
So I very badly wanted to be in the presence of Scott Steiner and text you and be like, call him right now. Call him right now. Just so I can take a video or a picture of him looking at his phone.
I would have stalked Scott Steiner.
And I blew it.
You were allowed to go in the back. You should have went in the back when he went in the back.
It was the last match.
After the show.
We weren't allowed to go back to them.
Oh, come on,
Steve,
Mr. Steve Guy, Mr. All Access.
We had to go to we had plans. We went to a club.
I bet you guys partied your asses off.
We had drink tickets.
Oh, great.
Ladies frequent the club.
Oh.
Because they work there.
Did Steve Guy
because they work there.
Did Steve Guy get some puppies in his face? No? Yeah.
Well.
No, you didn't.
I didn't pay for any of them.
Oh! Hey-oh!
No, there were nobody was dancing on my lap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
that's
good.
all.
Keep it PG.
Yeah. Keep it PG.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. A little tidbit for you guys, actually. Let's reward these people for sticking around for an hour. Rusev might be coming on the podcast. So that's a little tidbit. Look forward to seeing Rusev. So
just him? Lana too? No.
Lana is part of that too. I'm not sure it's going to be over the phone, but how that's going to work could be separate or together. But
well, they live together. Just put it on speakerphone.
So if you made it through the podcast and you made it to the end,
give yourself a high five.
A high five, and you're going to have Rusev in your ears in the coming weeks. All right, this is Awesome Wrestling Show, SealySound.com. Talk to you guys next week.